Hey guys, Terry here. Today in the series for the A to Z Craftroom organization, I thought we would talk about Nuvo Drops because we're on the letter N. So I think one of the things that's fun about our craft rooms is having out some decorations and inspiration. And this clearly, I love my wall here where I have many different colors here. It's just, I don't have a lot of walls, but this wall here in particular, I love all the colors that I have on it. So what I did was I put up these little shelves, and I'll have these links to the products that I bought on my website. But I really like how these shelves let me display some of the things that are colorful. So I've got markers across there. I've got the little stickles and, what are they called? Little pearls. And then some markers. And then I've got these Nuvo Drops. So let me show you how to use the Nuvo Drops. These little trays here are the stackable containers available from scrapbook.com. They have a lid on them. The lids are made so they're stackable. And then they hold the Nuvo Drops so that they're pointed upside down. And that helps keep the product down in the nozzle so that it doesn't dry out. And then they're ready to use. So let's take this over to the table and I'll show you how to use them. So Nuvo Drops are used to be a product that is, it's a paint that allows you to make enamel dots. So it comes in many different varieties. I like the crystal drops. I'll have listed on the website the different types. Crystal drops are a shiny, glossy look, so it would look like these. There's matte, there's glitter. I think there's 5 or 6 different types. So the way they're meant to be used is that you can either do the drops directly onto your project, like for example here. And it's always a good idea to do a little sample. Before you do it directly on your project, just to make sure it's coming out. But it comes out as a little wet glob of paint. And the idea is that you can just add a little dimension to your project. And you put it to the project and lift up. And they make it out of something that makes it self-leveling. So as long as you just put it down, lift up, put it down, lift up, those will dry into nice little round dots. Okay, so I'll set that aside so we don't bump it. It does take it a while to dry. If you do them smaller, it takes a few hours to dry. If you do larger ones, it can take overnight. So I usually just let them dry overnight. So here I've done some on a silicone mat. This is a little mat made by Stampin' Up. A little craft mat. It's a nice little small handy size. So I did these yesterday. And they're on here. Here's one that's loose. So you can see, I mean, they're very strong. And then you would just put a little dab of glue on the back to apply it to your project. The nice thing about making them ahead of time is you can then know what size they're going to be out. So when you're doing it directly on your project, it's a little nerve-wracking because you kind of don't know. You're trying to squeeze it nice and steady, but you still could, have different sizes. So the nice thing about this is you kind of know if I wanted to use these large ones, I could pull them off and use the size that I want. So you could make a whole sheet full of a variety of sizes, kind of like what you get in the packaging. So it's one thing to do it on an enamel or a silicone sheet, so that's handy. And then I'll just say that I would store them in like a little package like this, a little container just to keep them, you know, so you can use them. Because it would be nice to make a variety of colors and then have them for use. Another thing I saw suggested, because I do a lot of research before I make these videos so that I'm learning too, I saw that somebody was putting them directly onto, this is a glue dot. So you could put it directly on the sheet of glue dots, and then when these dry on those glue dots, you'll have dots that are ready to go with sticky on the back. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then another suggestion I saw was to do it on a piece of laminated grid paper, so that when you're making it, you can kind of judge the size that you're making it. So I think doing it on the grid paper allows you to kind of keep the size consistent. So I thought that was a really good idea. You can see they kind of come out as a little glob, but as long as you lift up at the end, then they will level and make a nice little dot. And then I'll share one more thing with you. I thought this was interesting. Someone said to use a stencil. I'll do this on here. Squeeze a little bit onto your stencil. Again, it's paint, so just get a glob of paint on there. And then use your craft knife to just build that up on the paper through your stencil. And then it just makes like a shiny, just a shiny texture on your paper. Isn't that cool? I've seen them also decorate, if you cut out like a die cut, and it has like little grooves and stuff on it, you could use it to add lines onto those die cut shapes, just to add a little bit of decoration. So that was my video for today. I wanted to show you how to store them, some ideas about storage. I love these containers where you keep them tipped up, and then some ideas on how to use them. So I hope this helps. I hope you learned something new. Subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.